A fresh breeze for the Skoda Kodiaq RS, or vRS as we say in the UK, in race blue, typical Thomas blue. And this car is really something. Why? It now features the Golf GTI engine, but it can house up to 7 seats. It's a performance SUV, and you know, essentially if you want a Porsche Macan at the cheaper price, comparable to the base level Macan, of course with way more interior space. And this is what's making it so exciting. Here in the facelift, new front grille, vertical high gloss stripes, vRS or RS logo. In Germany we say RS, UK vRS. Lower bumper also changed a little bit here, strong, and also this new styling right there. Then revised headlamps. LED is always standard for the Kodiaq now. These here are the optional, and for the RS standard matrix LED headlamps, and here the daytime running light right there. So a very angular design here in the front, and also new wheel sizes and choices. 20-inch is standard, and 2 different stylings are available at the moment. And this one here actually is a very special one because it has this aerodynamic form. And the interesting is you can put them out here like this, like this. So if you don't like them, you can put them out like this. It's no problem actually, but yeah, leaving them in makes a special styling. Some actually say it's also something where you can, like, you know, cut a cucumber or you know, or some cheese with it or something. Yeah, but I don't know. It looks quite fancy definitely, but if you don't like it, you can also take it out at any time. 4.70 m or 185 inches, the Kodiaq is a grown-up SUV indeed. You can see it from the outside. I really like this angular design. Even the crossover wheel arches, you know, have a somewhat angular form and really house these big wheels very well. So that works, this sportier approach. And again, black accentuations here, for example, the black frames around, and also in the lower part a stronger spoiler right there. Interesting feature here, by the way, when you open the door here, these door protectors, they come out automatically like this. So this is good against scratches and so on. And it even works here for the rear doors like this. Looks even cooler actually at the rear doors, doesn't it? Yeah. Interesting. So the DCC, the dynamic chassis control, the adaptive suspension, otherwise an option for the Kodiaq, comes standard with the RS or vRS version. So this is basically full equipment. And the interesting thing is, at that size, the Kodiaq starts at about 30,000 euros. And as it stands here right now, as the RS or vRS version, about 50,000. And I mean, considering that price, it's what's making it so interesting, a performance SUV with all the features and so much space on the interior. That's a big lettering in our Skoda, and wow, I mean, that's really self-confident, saying like a Maserati. Don't you think so as well? And also black lettering here for the Kodiaq, and then vRS 4x4, so this is a Haldex clutch system, front-wheel drive plus rear-wheel drive on demand. And what about that in the lower part? Case for the Autogefuel fake exhaust police. Yeah, I mean, this is huge, this exhaust tip. The rear ones are on the inside and they don't look too bad, but yeah, this is a little bit exaggerated, isn't it? And here with a little bit of shade, you can better see the daytime running lights. So a nice clean structure. And when I turn on the hazard lights or turning indicators, then they are being replaced by that. And also you have the cascading turning indicators. Let's see what's under the hood. Here we go. Now the Golf GTI engine. So far they went with the diesel in here. I mean, let's be honest, performance diesels, I don't know. What about you? Then here, now the 2-liter TSI turbo petrol engine, 245 horsepower, and that makes it half a second quicker, now at 6.5 seconds in the acceleration figure. And yeah, that's also somewhat how the Porsche Macan starts, with a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine in a similar horsepower spec. But now, yeah, Porsche said, wait a minute, when the Kodiaq even gets that one, then we'll put some more horsepower in the Macan. You will also find here on our main Autogefühl channel the Porsche Macan facelift review, where they now topped up this engine as it starts in the Macan. Very interesting, but here definitely we're going to have a little bit more fun with that one now in the driving part. And one of these so-called simply clever features, and yeah, it's a marketing slogan, but they are correct in a way, because here is an inbuilt cone here for the water fluid, and they indeed have some easy solutions which make car life a little bit easier. I wish there would be something special for the car key, like a vRS badge or something, but they didn't go for that one. Door closing sound. very solid like that, and the RS or vRS has a nice Alcantara insert right there. It's not too thick, so it's rather hard, but the surface is still, you know, feeling nice, just you cannot like press it in. So a little bit more thick dampening would have been cool, but here there's soft touch in the top of the door, and then this carbon fiber style right here at the inside of the doors, and a lot of space here. And yeah, for the trash, they also have thought of that. It's also a peculiar feature and very practical to open the trunk when you get out of the vehicle just here. That's pretty cool. Then you have the special steering wheel, vRS badge, and this perforated structure, contour stitches on the inside. New digital instruments in 10.25 inch, zoom more details to that. And here it's a soft touch dashboard with the red contour stitches. And the highlight, of course, the seats, sport seats with Alcantara and this quilted structure, and also integrated head restraints. And then you also have here this carbon fiber leatherette styling. So this is really a very beautiful job, and they indeed also offer a lot of comfort, because look at them. I mean, they are really wide and long and so on. And that's why they also offer good comfort, especially for tall people, like some people that might be 1.86 m or 6'1". So, and this leaves a lot of headroom, especially to the panoramic roof. But here on the side, still enough headroom, no problem. There's this nice panoramic roof built in here, and let's open it. It really goes all the way over the vehicle. Look at that. So that's as close as it gets to a convertible SUV in this case. This is really a very, very wide opening in all, all respects. And these seats, they hold you tight. You don't slide on them too much, but they're still also very capable of longer journeys. Interior overview, again with this interesting formula of the dashboard that goes in here, goes up here. Deco element in carbon fiber style. You start with an 8-inch screen. This is the option 9.2-inch screen, but then it's totally buttonless. So yeah, maybe stick with the arm-ons and then do not upgrade here to the Columbus. Yeah, and this gesture function, by the way, like, I don't know, sometimes it works, sometimes not, like now. Zoom out details to that. Here in the lower part, still manual AC knobs. That's good to have, and just a good user interface still. That's how it's supposed to be. That's all we need, and we don't need everything in touchscreens. Why not go for this one here? Then lower part here, you have inductive charging pad for your phone. Apple CarPlay and Auto goes wirelessly also, but cable if you like, so you can pick. Big TSI shifting lever with the vRS logo, but I think that's also makes a good quality impression. Now it's getting interesting here with the bottles. So you can just stand them like this and then open them, and the reason is, see here at the ground, they're like this when you have bottles that are like this, and then when you look at that here, you can also take it out like this. They have exactly these dots here, and that's why they fit on there and then hold tight. Interesting. It looks a little bit like Lego as well, right? And you can also turn it around and then put it in like this, just for, like a higher cubby space or something like this, or then just leave it out completely and then have the most space actually. Why not? Steering wheel now taking over from the new Octavia generation. Left side a volume toggle, and then here heated steering wheel. On the right side the same kind of, but then to control the new digital instruments. And here in the toggle wheel, then you can, for example, zoom in and out of the map if you want to have it like this. This is possible, but then you can also change the whole view, for example, put the map away or change the whole view. Then you can use your thumb, either, for example, map all over the place like this, or have it like this or here. And my favorite performance view is definitely this. And the main infotainment system is not too slow, considering what we've seen recently from some, new Skoda Octavia, Seat Leon, VW Golf, and so on. Yeah, this you heard the sound from the gesture sound. Then here, vehicle, for example, you have some also off-road information if you like. There's another home screen. It looks like this, but you can also individualize it actually. Yeah, 2 fingers like this. And there's also Apple CarPlay integration, and this, kind of all over the screen. The Canton sound system actually delivers a nice true and surround sound. So yeah, actually happy with that. So let's take a look at the GPS once more, and also about the speed. You see here, sometimes it could be a little bit more intuitive. Let's see here now, zoom in and out. Yeah, could definitely be more responsive, but we've seen worse. You also have the nice Alcantara seating here for the rear seats and an easy entry as well. So cool styling, sporty atmosphere, and getting inside here you have also the manual shades. That's of course really cool for the kids and so on. And wow, a lot of legroom, and this is also then when you compare to a Porsche Macan, and yeah, in a way you can, of course in another way, a branded image way you can't, but this way, I mean, this is here the legroom of like a car that is usually even bigger, and you have a very upright, super comfortable seating position here. This is top notch and also enough headroom. So that's why this vehicle is so well usable. Isofix at the outsides each. Here and here. Then cup holders, they are not adaptive though. And easy also here with the middle console. Seat heating is also available for the outside seats, and in the lower part you have a real power socket. However, it gets, it's a little bit close here when you have like a MacBook charger or something, so it gets really close. That doesn't really fit. So it has to be, something with a small plug. Middle seat here, yeah, I mean, it has this kind of single seat setup, but still you can easily drive it with 5 tall adults, just a little bit stiffer than on this middle lane here. Another specialty of this vehicle is the trunk, the performance trunk, 835 liters. That's of course massive. And look at that. Here a cabin trolley fits in just standing upright like this. This is very rare and without demounting anything. The length here at 1 meter or 40 inches and the width as well, 1 meter or 40 inches. And the height to the cover here is 20 inches or 50 centimeters, and the overall height a little bit less than 30 inches, or here 73 centimeters. That's really very, very good, and you can easily fold these seats like this, other side like this, and here we go, and then put that thing out, and that's then the maximum loading area. You can also get it with 7 seats, so that then here would be a 3rd seating row. This is possible and also quite rare in this performance segment. If you don't have it, you have just a little bit more space underneath. You can also put these here out there, splitting that whole thing, but that way you have even more loading depth then. However, then in this case then you have a little bit of a loading sill. With the cover then you have an even loading sill that you can easier load things in and out. Plop. By the way, this way here, so I didn't press them all the way down. Now they're actually all the way pressed down, and the interesting thing is the absolute total length here then is indeed almost 2 meters, or here about 75 inches, so that's again great result. And next to these adjustable hooks, also pretty interesting, right, is the button for the towing hook, and there we go, 2,200 kilograms max for the TSI 4x4, 4,850 pounds. Goodbye. Welcome to Thomas's driving lounge. Skoda Kodiaq RS. Do you hear that? When I put in the S shifting mode or go to the sports mode in the driving mode selection, then you also have this sound actuator, and indeed that makes a very sporty impression. I mean, we're in this kind of full-size SUV almost. At least it feels so from the interior. Here, right on the pegs, on the left side. Yeah, indeed, it does directly create a racy atmosphere, and that's really cool. When we go to the driving modes here, we can go to the sports mode. That also puts in the S shifting mode. That also then adjusts the DCC, the dynamic chassis control, the adaptive suspension. That is then set on a stiffer tone. Getting out here, that's really a lot of fun indeed. Right side, and yeah, you almost already begin racing in the city. And again, it has a substantial size, but has a good progressive steering, very precise as for the steering input. You don't have to steer so much. The suspension now gets astonishingly stiff with the sport setting. We also have 20-inch wheels mounted. That also makes it stiffer, of course, in a way. But still, there's enough comfort definitely, so can't complain about that at all. We have to watch our speed for a moment before we get to the motorway. So now we're getting on the motorway then, next right. Sports mode still selected. Good roundabout visibility, so a lot of modern vehicles really lack that, but here you have a great overview actually. Every lane change is really a lot of fun. And again, at any time you can go for example back to the comfort setting, then the DCC is more forgiving, and the shifting mode set on normal auto scale, so that then just relaxes you. Shifting the driving modes I think can be a little bit easier, where you can also press it through, that you don't have to touch the screen in the touchscreen. Here we go. And this is now also a part with unlimited speed, so we can really floor it out. Now 6.5 seconds is the new acceleration figure, and you immediately feel, especially in this lower RPM areas, that this is now so much more fun than it was with this bi-turbo diesel. And this performance diesel was also not really good in the fuel economy, so it didn't make too much sense. You know, they're good 3-liter diesels or something, which are good economy and power-wise, but here it didn't make too much sense. So let's see, let's get on the first lane right there, and then from 80 kilometers an hour, let's accelerate it out as soon as we can. After this vehicle, now I'm searching safe passage first, so safety first, that we can really have an acceleration all the way through. So blind spot monitor there, integrated in the side mirrors, beautifully done, and now it's our time. That's 180 kilometers an hour, and almost 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles an hour. Of course, this is not like a 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder performance engine, but considering we have a big vehicle and it's only 2-liter 4-cylinder, that still goes forward quite well. You again heard a little bit of sound actuation, but it's not too much actually. And to me, the good thing is that it's also staying relatively silent here. You cannot compare the noise insulation then to the premium manufacturers. That's where Audi, BMW and Mercedes, especially Mercedes in this case, then is better, especially here at high speeds. So that's, but I mean, it's still bearable, definitely. I mean, it's not too loud. To me, the best thing is that it's so stable on the road, especially when you have a sport setting here. Lane changes are really well in control. So it still gives you this MQB feeling, so a feeling like driving a Golf, for example, this typical compact platform feeling in the Volkswagen Corporation, like the VW, Seat and Skoda. So you feel you're really in control of the vehicle, once again with a good progressive steering, slalom-alike controls, no problem. At the same time, go to the comfort mode, right back again, relax a little bit, and for example also test the new assistance systems. So the travel assist is working in this vehicle. That means you can set cruise control. At the same time, you set the speed in here with the left stalk column. And when you have the travel assist activated, then the car also basically steers itself. And now I have the travel assist selected. So distance to the car in front of me is being kept. I can also change the distance, and also the car is being held in the lane. It's not a very intrusive system here, so it's not too much, but you can see here the car is being kept in the lane. Let's see if I can, induce it somehow to go to the side. Here we go, and then slowly back to the lane again. And I think that's actually quite smooth process. We've experienced better assistance systems, but also worse one, so I think something in between. But I think the main thing to take away from here, that's not, not taking over too much, and especially for a performance version here, I think that's actually a good thing to have then. So, and here also in the construction lane, let's see if the travel assist is working with that. Sometimes they do have problems with that. See, let's steer a little bit to the left. Now, you see, it goes back. I think that's actually quite well done. Also with capacitive function, so it's enough when you touch the steering wheel, and that's actually it. Then you don't have to, like apply force then or something. Good, once again, that you have this upright seating position, and these sport seats here are really very, very comfortable. That's to me also one of the most important things. So this is so much suitable for everyday driving life, and once again with all the luggage you put inside there, and of course a lot of space for the rear passengers. So you have comfort. You don't have like the highest exclusive premium feeling. It's more, definitely more this, this practical orientation. That's also the reason why you pay way less money than in the Porsche Macan. Of course, a Porsche Macan does give you a somewhat more exclusive and sophisticated feeling, yes, but you also then pay the price for it. A 3-liter 6-cylinder is of course not available here in the Kodiaq RS, but I mean, performance-wise, as we've seen, it's definitely enough. And it's very interesting also. Let's see what's construction lane, so we are allowed to go off here. One more time. Sports mode. When we're getting off the motorway, it's always good to test it here. Yeah, that feels really nicely. It doesn't shake up at all. Very good to test it here. And yeah, I mean, they even scored some record laps on Nürburgring. Now a little bit screaming of the tires. Shifting pedals. It's, yeah, fun. Has a number plate in front of us, says, from the Juke. It's really a lot of fun to drive this vehicle, and using shifting pedals, shifting down here when you like. Yeah. So that's the thing here about this vehicle. It basically delivers the full package at a decent price. And you can also compare the Tiguan R, which now gets the torque split. This is also very interesting. It is more agile due to this new torque split. And of course, more or less with the Porsche Macan, you should also tune into that. And maybe, the Seat or Cupra pendants. So Cupra Formentor and the Cupra Ateca, a little bit smaller, not too much space, but definitely also comparable performance. But here, I think we can agree that it does deliver you a quite unique package.